It's 5:30. We have a quorum, so the May 20th, 2026 Library Board of Trustees meeting is called to order. We'll begin with invocation. Our Father, thank you for the beauty of this day. Thank you for the freedom we have in this nation, Lord, to make decisions like this, to serve on boards, Father. We thank you for that. We pray that you'll guide us in all that we do. We pray for our area, that you'd please send us rain. We pray for those suffering in our area, Lord, that you'll use us to help them. In Jesus' name, amen. And please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you've seen the minutes. Has everyone seen the minutes? Are there any additions or deletions that need to be made? Do we hear a motion to accept?
Motion to accept? I'll second.
All in favor?
Who was the second?
Me,
I thought you motioned. Who motioned?
Kim.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, now's our time for public comment. Have anyone that would like to speak? Okay. And board member comments. Okay, how about our friends report?
Okay. I put the figures for March and April in the report, the background that I send out each time, and I do apologize, that came out a little bit late. The meeting snuck up on me this time because of the early voting next week, which is why we're here tonight. And so they were, I guess, maybe a little off from what you might expect for like the holidays and things, but they still had some pretty strong sales. The basement sales are still really strong. The booth sales in Tannery, I guess, with it not being the holidays and that kind of thing, they were a little down compared to what they had been recently. But the basement sales are still going very strong. And so they still brought in $9,800 for the 2 months, March and April. So they are still doing well. They've already given us this year, they did agree to fund us for summer reading and adult summer reading. So summer reading was 4,000 maybe or something like that, right around. I think the total was like 6,000. I think they gave like 4,500 for summer reading, 1,500 for adult summer reading. That's like prizes and whatever else they needed for entertainers and all the stuff that they are having to order and things. We did also, I think I mentioned before, we did get the summer reading grant, $2,000 from the state library, so that's also part of the summer reading. But for the friends, they've also given us this year, again, wish list money, they call it. Each of our locations gets $1,500 that they can spend over and above what we budgeted for them in terms of the state and local budget. But they get $1,500 from the friends that they can spend on something for the patrons or even for the staff. We've used it in the past to buy appliances for some of the locations. Worn out appliances in the staff areas, we get a new fridge or get a new something there. We've used it for some furniture for both staff areas and for public areas as well. So they did give that to us again this year as well. So they have just continued to, in addition to the normal money that they give us every 6 months, they also have continued to fund a lot of either our programs or just some spending money for the branches, essentially, that they can do. It's not quite so locked down in the normal budget.
Okay, were any committee reports submitted? How about finance? Policy and personnel? Building and grounds, no report, probably one next month, we hope, if the rain starts.
Right.
Because the grounds, some grounds work is very doable. It's just been so dry.
Yeah.
So we'll be in touch with that. And community relations, any report? Okay. How about the chair's report? None this time.
There you go. There you go. And I'll keep the director's report very brief.
Okay.
Because most of what I want to talk about or would talk about is in our agenda anyway. So I will just say that obviously, one of the things I was gonna mention, I did get to go and attend the regular meeting of APLA or SCAPLA, that's the Association of Public Library Administrators. This year's APLA president is the Charleston County director. And so we actually met in Charleston this time, and she got, not only did we have a good meeting, she made it in the afternoon instead of the morning, so poor slobs like me that had to travel some distance could get there, and then I did stay the night. But also, we got to tour one of the local architects, Leo, that has done a lot of work, is currently the planning and implementation for a total refurbishment of the main library in Charleston, which is really gonna be nice. I mean, we got to see the fabrics, the carpet, we got to see a lot of the stuff, a lot of the plans that they're doing. I mean, it's gonna be a fabulous redo. But they've done a couple of their branches, and I think they also, about 3 years ago, did one of the new Dorchester branches. So I realize we don't have a lot of money, and we don't have any, immediate plans for new branches, but I did, when I spoke to them about that, I said, I was kind of bemoaning that we're probably never gonna get like a new branch or anything like that, but they did say, depending on the architect that you work with, and I'll have to check and see if our local person that has done work for us before, McMillan, Paston Smith, if they would do this kind of thing as well, but they said they will work with your budget. Sometimes it's just a refurbishment, paint, carpet, that kind of thing. We have definitely been wanting to get paint done and some other work done at the main branch here in Walhalla. Also, it's really about time for all of ours. I mean, the last time Seneca was painted, I think I was still the branch head down there, so that would have been pre-2014. And I know our Westminster branch as well. So, there's options there that we might be able to talk about, in terms of being able to maybe make some smaller changes. We still have some Nettles funds, we do have some other things out there. And so, we might be able to do something with that. So it was a good time. I mean, I thought initially, wow, what am I gonna get out of this? Because, we're never gonna be able to build a building or anything like that. But it was encouraging to see some of the cool things that they've done. If nothing else, acoustic tiles and some other cool things that they had done. We're always having complaints about the noise at the Seneca Library, and maybe we could, and these that they showed actually they're magnetic, and they just clip onto these 2x4 drop ceilings, the metal supports of the 2x4 drop ceilings. I was like, that's great. So particularly over maybe the adult computer area. So I'm gonna get back with them on those in particular. What brand was that, or what kind of product was that? But there's some options there that I think we might be able to explore some much smaller projects and get an architect involved, so we get not just us doing it, but somebody that's professional that can say, hey, yeah, even this little spot of your library could use a new whatever, and that kind of thing. So overall, it was a really good visit, and then I got to go out to eat with some colleagues, and that was always nice and that kind of thing. The directors group really is, I mean, we have a few directors that never come, of course, out of the 41, 42 systems in the state, because there's a couple of consortial ones. You always have a few of the directors that they're either on their way to retirement or they're so new or whatever, they don't come. But it's a pretty good core group, and we really do support each other, so it's great to talk to people. I can tell my staff a lot of things, but there's also some things I can't tell them. And it's nice to be able to talk to other directors and be able to get that. So the state directors group, APLA, has been a good resource for me pretty much the whole time I've been director, and even before I became director, even when I was interim, and even with my predecessor. I went to some APLA meetings before I was ever director. I went with my predecessor, and it's a good core group. We've got some directors that have been around a little while now, like I have, and some that are still fairly new, but it's a good group. So it was a very good trip. I think the next one's gonna be virtual, so I don't have to travel, but overall, we meet every other month as well, and it's just a really good core group of directors that you can bounce ideas off of. We have a listserv, so if we ever have questions, we can just post stuff on the listserv, and it's really a good supportive community. So it was a good trip there. And then, like I said, pretty much everything else that I would normally mention in my report is on the agenda, so I'll just let it there with my report.
Where is the library in Charleston?
They moved, the main library is still on Calhoun Street, right
Okay.
down almost to the here. They moved a lot of the headquarters stuff out of there. They have a separate support building now for a lot of the senior staff and that kind of thing that this Leo did for them. And now they're doing the main library, so they're taking all that. We had sort of looked into doing something similar to that. If we were able to move the headquarters to Seneca and get a new building in Seneca, then we were looking at refurbishing a lot of the spaces here at the Walhalla Library to have, you know, a lot more public space. And that's kind of what they're gonna be able to do in Charleston, all that used to be offices and backroom areas. Now a lot of it will still be public space. I mean, I think they still have like their, some departments there and stuff maybe, but a lot of stuff, I think even including like their bookmobile, their technical services, a lot of that moved to the support services building. So they've got a lot more room now. That's why they were able to refurbish the main Charleston, library. So it'll be a fun project. You know, I hope I get to go back down there when they finish that. I hope I get to tour it.
They had a nice computer room there. All my kids did their computer classes. It was terrific
Yeah.
and free for the community.
Well, they have money.
They do, they have a lot of money.
They're an enormous county and,
Yes.
you know, there's a lot of money in Charleston. A lot of those million, 2 million, 3 million, you know, however many million, Mr. Real
You can
Estate
get it for
over here,
$1 or
however
$2
many
million.
$1 home
Goodbye.
in Charleston. So, yeah, but it's a good system and they're in a great shape. Their director, Angela, she is a top-notch person that has really done a good job with, you know, being a good steward of the Charleston system. So she's one that I often call and talk to and rely on a lot. She's been through some challenges with some of the book challenges and that kind of stuff as well. So she's one that I consult a lot, and is a good resource, for me and for us. So, yeah, Charleston's in good hands.
Okay, old business. How about an update on the HVAC problems in Walhalla?
All right, on the buildings and grounds, as you mentioned, the HVAC, we did finally get through there was a little bit of red tape involved in trying to get a lift to repair one of our HVAC systems there in Walhalla. Unfortunately, right now, facilities maintenance is also really shorthanded. So I want to get it done as soon as we can, because now that the temperatures are warming up, that part of the building is really starting to warm up a bit. But we do know that we should be able to get a lift. It's just a matter now of getting them scheduled and getting them in there. They've done a couple other repairs. The one in our meeting room was not working very well the other day. There was some kind of a electrical contact or something that was causing a problem. The fellows were just up there this morning to fix that, so that's in good shape. I mean, we're maintaining them as the best we can. You know, I've already alerted the new county administrator, Mr. Jones, that these are 2011 model HVAC units and they're gonna need, you know, replacing probably sooner than later, at least a lot of them. But right now, they are still able to get parts. They are keeping them going. The one problem unit for us up there, we hope, now that they know we have the money and the permission to get the lift, hopefully they'll get that done, maybe as early as next week or week after, I'm hoping.
So the lift is a rental?
Yeah, the county they don't have that particular kind of lift. They do have to lease one of those.
I might. We'll talk.
Okay. And then the other thing is, I haven't really heard anything else on this, but one of the friends is also the chair of COBA, Keep Oconee Beautiful Association. They applied for a grant to get some money to help us with beautification with the libraries. Because, you know, they had heard, I think, maybe one of the Friends Board meetings, since Kay is our liaison for the Friends Board, I think she had talked to them about it a little bit and told them about what we were talking about in terms of needing help with the grounds and that kind of thing. So I can't think of her name right off the top of my head, but one of the friends is also, you know, the COBA board chair. So she is applied. I haven't heard what's happened on that yet or
I haven't
whatever.
heard.
But, their board meeting is actually tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I think? Yeah, so hopefully maybe we'll know something tomorrow on the status of that. And then, we, unfortunately, with a lot of the changes that are happening, I know Roads and Bridges is still shorthanded. The Seneca project is just gonna happen when it happens, unfortunately. I hope it happens before we get cold again, you know, and that kind of thing, but until we get some of these personnel issues solved, they get an asphalt crew leader that can do the work, their mandate is still just concentrate on roads, concentrate on roads. I haven't spoken with Kyle Reed here lately, but I do know they haven't hired that position yet. So until they can get somebody for that, somebody that is more specialized and can do that small area that they're talking about as a parking area in Seneca, that project is just sort of on hold. Council has approved it, we're okay on it, it's just gotta get the work done. And then, again, we are just looking at like, okay, what areas could maybe we can get some paint done, we can get some other things done. I know the managers have been using some of the year-end money here to get some shelving and some other things to kind of improve some of staff spaces and public spaces. And, I know our Westminster branch, they've shifted a couple of rows and things and taken out some shelving, which I still need to go get. But anyway, so, the managers are trying to maximize the space they have and work with it. The crews at least have been coming and mowing, they just mowed at Walhalla today. So they are at least mowing and maintaining the outdoor spaces. So if we can get that grant from, COBA and maybe get some help, and then like you were talking about, if we get a crew, I think, maybe we can get some additional work done at the branches where we do have those couple of spaces like at Seneca and at Walhalla that we really kind of need to get spruced up.
Great.
I have some concerns about the Seneca branch. The report from Emily, if you look at that, and she even highlighted some things. I don't know if you guys noticed that. She was talking about a tree to come down, removing a sign, vents and ducts. She's asked for people to come out, and she'll say she hasn't had response. She asked for pressure washing. I went out and looked at the building. It looks pretty bad. And that is one of our goals, right? Is to work on how the buildings, the appearance of buildings. So I think we have to take this seriously, and she's asking for this. So I went back to the last report, January, February. She asked for all the same things in January and February, and she hasn't gotten a response.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, it's like, well, okay, we have a buildings and grounds committee. What are we gonna do about it? Who can we talk to? I'm willing to go talk to anybody. I'll meet with Stuart Jones. She's talking about, who did she say? She's contacted Jason. I do not know him, but I'm happy to meet him. How do we push this, kick this forward? Because she's taking the time to let us know about this. I assume you've probably talked to some of these people. I'm willing to help. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but guess what? Nothing's getting done.
Right.
And I know Stuart Jones. I know some council people. I'm willing to make some calls. I'll meet with them. But I feel like we should be hearing what Emily's saying. And if you go look at the building, oh my.
There's three quick things I can say about that. One, again, some of this, particularly that ductwork, goes back to them being shorthanded. They are prioritizing, and unfortunately, facilities maintenance is over every building in the county. So if, like I know when I spoke to Jason, that's Jason Neal, he's the head of facilities maintenance. He also does HVAC. He does HVAC as a business as well. When I spoke to him about our HVAC problem that I was having in a meeting room a couple of days ago, he said, okay, but it'll probably be in the morning before I get up there because I'm putting in a unit at High Falls right now. So getting the parks ready for summer and camping and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So part of that, like with the ductwork and everything, again, same thing with roads and bridges. If you're talking about a tree down and you're gonna have to pull somebody off to come, with their equipment or whatever to take a tree down when they're out, they have a smaller crew anyway, and then they're out doing roads. I may have to check with our procurement folks if we're allowed to hire some of these jobs out, honestly, just because they're not.
I mean, how do we get on the list? Because.
We're on the list.
Okay, but here's the thing. If you go to the parks, they're breathtaking. Our parks are beautiful. our boat drops have been updated. They're great. As a boater, I'm thrilled. But then I go to our libraries and I think, okay,
Sure.
it's not up to the level of what I think of Coney County with the parks, the boat drops. I'm willing
And
to
I
step up and
myself-
say, hey, guys, let's go.
I myself and my managers would agree with you, but,
Yeah.
and I can be on the phone weekly. And in
So
some cases
we're your
I have
board.
been, but-
What do you want us to do? How can I help you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of those things, I mean, honestly, many of your predecessors have found the same thing. I mean, we all know now with the new change in administration, Phil Shirley, who was TRT, Parks, Recreation and Tourism, he's now the deputy administrator. Parks are, parks make money, we don't make money. Parks make money. Unfortunately, the parks, the airport, all those things are gonna look great, and my libraries are second class. I'm
But
not,
we can't argue that they're more important than the library. So what I'm saying is, I'm willing to step up. You tell me how I can help you.
yeah, I mean,
Who can
honestly, I don't know
call?
if that is if it has pretty much, if they're not listening to us, my staff and me, if that does need to go from the board to, let's
Yeah.
say, Mr. Jones or the council.
I'll call him.
And then, I mean, I can't tell you that that would work or not, but that is up to y'all, but yes. I mean, we're to the point where they have priorities and we're not in. I mean,
Right.
they will fix, like, if I call them up, like I did the other day, and say, we're having trouble with a particular unit for HVAC, this room is hot, and we have programs in here and I need it, they'll come. I mean, they are responsive, but they are shorthanded, and when it comes to like duct work in Seneca, something like that, that's getting more than one or two guys to crawl up in the ceiling and do a bunch of work, and, it's not a higher priority. I will say on the pressure washing, that also might be something that we can maybe, I don't know what the parameters of the COVID grant are gonna be. We might even be able to get somebody to come do pressure washing with some of that money. I don't know that for sure, but I mean, I think we're to that point, if, we're not seeing responses, we're either gonna have to check with county and see if we can get somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
And, use
Well-
gift money or help, get the friends to help us or whatever to pay for it. And also, it's probably time for the board to wanna, speak
Right.
with the councilman that or speak with Mr. Jones and, see if we can get moved up
I'm
on the
happy to do it.
priority list a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and I
But
have been
let's,
around since we're-
let's step forward and do something. I'm just feeling really bad for Emily in particular. She's written this report twice now, and she even highlighted this month. I mean, come on. And she's,
Well, private donors could be another possibility, like a Duke sponsorship, a Clemson sponsorship, where they actually, Borg Warner sponsorship, where they
Sure.
actually have maybe a section.
Sure.
Where this is the Borg Warner Technology Corner, or the Duke where we have those particular types of books. The Clemson Literary Corner, and it's something we could look into as a community
we
relationship.
could. I just don't want to kick this down the road any further. And I think we need to talk to our staff. We need to talk to our county council members, Stuart Jones, and say, okay, it's the library's turn. Those steps have been like that for how long?
Right.
We've been talking about this since I joined this group,
Sure.
and nothing's happened. And it looks ridiculous.
Unless you and I work on that.
Yeah,
Quick
I mean,
question,
start immediately.
yeah.
Yeah, like next week.
quick
Okay.
question,
Yes.
Blair. Is there an AC outlet in that new conference room?
Yeah.
There is, okay. I wasn't sure about that. And then the old smart boards, did we send those to other libraries?
There's one in Seneca and there's one we have in
Right,
Mohawk.
those are the new ones.
Right.
What about the old ones?
Well, actually, that came up at our management meeting on Tuesday, and I think what we're gonna do with them, because the other locations, really the best that they could do with them, because they are gonna be more and more obsolete. They won't update the Windows 11, so they really can't use them for, like, smart boards. We looked at, and they don't, honestly, neither the Westminster or Salem locations, particularly Salem, they don't have space. Those whiteboards, those smart boards are huge, especially, they're a lot larger than the new ones we got. That's one nice feature about the new ones that we got, is they're actually a much smaller, like, the frame and all that they're built into is much smaller. What we had talked about doing on, Tuesday is maybe offering them to another county department.
Because they're great for the thumb drives, because we ended up in that back conference room one time and just had to do a little fiddling to get online. But it would be nice if we could just roll it in there, if there's an extra. Because that's a
Well,
big
actually,
space.
we can roll the new one back there also if there's not, the people not in the conference room need it, and somebody has a thing in that smaller conference room, we can also roll it back there. But we are looking at also maybe a new monitor that you can just plug
A thumb drive
a
or
thumb
something.
drive into. That was an old TV that we had that we used to show movies on and stuff. We just put it in there so we'd have something. It's actually got a little chrome bit in it that's like a small computer, but it's not, it's old. We really probably, if we get money in the new fiscal year, I think we're gonna replace it. I don't know that we can't get another smart board. Well, I mean, we could, but I don't know that we wanna get another smart board, but we may try to get a better television in there that could handle mirroring a computer or something.
Yeah, and thumb drives and everything. If we could get it up higher too, so you could see in the back. That was the biggest problem, because if we could get it up on the wall maybe.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
we
a
looked at
screen.
doing that with that one, it was already on its own little stand, we just dropped it in there because to get one on that wall back there, our studs are irregular, to be nice about it, they're metal studs for one thing.
Okay.
And I don't think they're on like 16 or, they're weird, but
Maybe just get it on
that
a
whole
higher
building is
stand.
weird, so yeah, even if we could just get it up on a higher stand, I think it would be fine.
Okay. How about the strategic plan goals?
I'm sorry.
Strategic plan goals? In the old business, under old business?
Is that
No,
last
that's-
last week's, or last month's?
Oh,
Yeah.
am I on the wrong month? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm on the wrong month. Okay. Okay, new business, work plans, new training and evaluation
No,
tools.
we got a update on FY
budget.
27.
Oh, yes, skipped right over the FY 27 budget, how about that?
That's fine. And the only thing I'll say on that is, we have not actually seen the backup material or whatever for the budget. I wanna say they maybe passed it on first reading, not last night's meeting, but a couple weeks ago. They did not do second reading last night. They had a bunch of other stuff that they did cover in county council. But we have not actually seen it yet. So I do not know, like, if Carrie's position is covered. I do not know if we got increases in the professional line item for part-time, staff. I will say on the state budget, they did go ahead, both in House and Senate, pass the part of increasing state aid for the smaller counties to go from 150,000 minimum to 200,000 minimum, but we will still get the 275 per capita that we got just the fiscal year that we're just ending. We'll get the same thing next year in state aid, so 216,800 and whatever it is, I can't remember off the top of my head, but we'll get that again. So mainly the thing is just, seeing, are we gonna get, the things that we wanted in our next year's budget? That's gonna be the issue, and then if not, trying to figure out how to kinda work around it and keep getting what we need. But
So the smaller
that's what we
counties,
know so far.
smaller counties got 200,000, and we're a medium-sized county, and we're only gonna get 216.
Well, it's per capita. Well, so like if you go by 2020 census numbers, that's 78,607, multiply that by 275.
And did they get, I thought they got some kind of artificial bump in the small counties.
Well, they're going up to 200,000
Right.
in the smaller counties. And I don't remember exactly where the break is. I wanna say it's Lawrence County, Darlington. Anyway, I mean, it's a few counties smaller than us. I mean, we're kind of right, we really are kind of in the middle. If it goes to $3 or perhaps even $3.50, we might end up being a minimum county and get 200,000. Which means we just need to keep growing. Cause I wanna get the per capita. But of course, if a recession hits or something happens and we're still getting per capita, that means if they go to $1.50 again or something like that, we're out of luck. Whereas hopefully they wouldn't drop the minimum counties. Some of those counties, that's the only way they can afford professional staff or, you know, any of their books or any of that other kind of stuff. So for a small county like, let's say, Marion or Clarendon or something like that, you know, that $200,000 is a huge deal for them.
Okay, new business, work plans and new training and evaluation.
So this is something I had mentioned before. This is something we also talked about as a staff at our spring in-service, back on Good Friday. These work plans, this is an idea for us to have a little bit more of a regular evaluation and, system where just instead of what the county has, which is a annual evaluation, that's pretty much all you get. This would be an opportunity for us to have meet with our subordinates and have our people be able to meet with their managers once a quarter. And then the work plans themselves are set up with like just some goals and some other things. In other words, instead of it being more of a punitive, hey, this is all the stuff you have to correct, a lot of it is, okay, what are you gonna work on? What are some of the things, what webinars would you like to take and that kind of stuff? So it's a much more of a positive sort of check-in. Then if there's any issues, also, you're checking in once a quarter instead of once or twice a year, and that gives you a chance to maybe fix some of those issues or come up with solutions for some of these things, rather than it growing and festering into a bigger problem. So we are looking right now, we're gonna try to get through summer reading. Our hope was to maybe start using the work plans in the new fiscal year. Think we're gonna have to kind of slow walk those a little bit more. We have the template, we got the template from Richland County, Columbia area, but there's a few things that we wanna tweak on it still, and now with us coming into summer reading, I asked Brittany, our adult services librarian, we're gonna be so busy with summer reading, I said, you can put the brakes on it. I said, we'll get back to it in August, once things slow down a little bit. Usually August is traditionally when we don't do as many programs and that kind of thing, because we're filling out grants and filling, you know, grant gathering receipts and everything from summer reading. So I think in August, then we'll have the work plans together, and our goal is to start using them by maybe the fall or the holidays, so that it'll affect all evaluations and things for this coming fiscal year, FY '27. So when we do our evaluations in the spring of '27, we'll have some other paperwork, some of these work plans already in place that help us do the evaluations, and then they won't be just, you know, this drudgery annual evaluation. You have to try to remember what people did through the whole year. You've got quarterly, like, reports and things that you can see, okay, this is what they've done. And we are also working on, in addition to work plans, kind of following along with what the county is doing. With the new administration in county, they realized they didn't have documentation on a lot of things. A lot of things. And so they have gone through and asked us department heads to come up with a sort of standardized list of SOPs, or standard operating procedures. We've had a procedure manual for years, we just never had it all formalized. So we at the library are going through and taking the procedures that we've been using for a long time, putting them into this SOP format, and it'll be available online. So other county departments, like, let's say everybody at the library got sick and somebody else had to come in and run the library, they've got the basics. I mean, they might not be able to order books and do all that kind of stuff, but they can at least keep the doors open. And then also we'll have it internally. And that, when we go through and start looking at our processes a little bit more critically, that is also helping us out. That's helping to inform us on a little bit better training manual and onboarding manual. So all of this is gonna kind of fit together, and hopefully that means both from the start, when you first hire people in, and also as we're moving them through their time in the library, you know, they're getting more feedback. We're getting more feedback from them and listening to them. And then also that helps us with both training and, yes, money would be nice, but at least in some other ways, retention and, you know, making them feel a little bit more involved in the process.
Terrific. Okay, how about a preview of summer reading for us?
May 29th, Friday, May 29th, 11 to 1, High Falls County Park is the kickoff. Huge deal. We're gonna have a lot of cool stuff out there. This year's theme is Uncover a Story. So we took it, as a lot of libraries did, and as even the CSLP, the Collaborative Summer Library Program, that comes up with the main theme every year. You're not required to use it as a library, but for us, particularly for the summer grant, they always like us to use the CSLP theme. So most of the libraries in South Carolina do use it, a few of them don't. most of them do it. So most everybody kind of interpreted that as a dinosaur paleontology kind of theme. So we're gonna have a Jurassic Park escape room. We're gonna have gem mining. I mean, we're gonna have a bunch of really cool stuff. We do have some 250 things involved as well. We did get about a $8,000 grant from SC 250. So they're using that for a lot of 250 stuff. There's going to be an app, I think, for one of the programs that they're doing, and also they're going to have a tea tasting for Charleston, because we had our own tea party. You know, Boston had the big one, obviously, the one that everybody knows about, but we had one. And so they're gonna do a tea tasting and get tea from Oliver Pluff in Charleston, which if you've ever had any of their stuff, it's wonderful. And also they're gonna use it to get some quill pens and some writing equipment, and everything, and have a colonial writing thing as well.
Oh, wow, that's great.
And a couple other cool things. So we did get money from the 250, SC 250, got a grant that Quintel, who's the head of our county committee, put in for. And so we're gonna have some programming to do with the 250, but then a lot of our biggest stuff is all about the paleontology and the dinosaurs and the gem mining and all that kind of thing. Two big programs that we've done in the past, we have Critter Keeper and we have Safe Haven Animal Rescue that are gonna be at the Performing Arts Center again this year. One of those is the Critter Keeper's in June, and the Safe Haven is gonna be in July. And so those will be our big programs, but then we've got, like I said, we've got an escape room, we've got, you know, other programs that'll be coming up. And then the last thing will be the end of summer bash that we always have every year. And that's that last week in July. I can't remember the date off the top of my head, but the calendar will be out really soon. We've just finalized a few things. The calendar will be out on summer reading. Sign-ups, actually, people can start signing up next Tuesday after Memorial Day, and then you can't like turn in your reading logs or anything until things officially begin on June 1st. So Monday, June 1st is the actual official time. Of course, we are having that kickoff on that Friday the 29th, and then the program itself starts on June 1st, runs through July. School starts earlier this year, so I want to say it's like July 23rd, 5th, something like that. But school starts a little earlier this year for most of the districts around us and Will County. So it'll be a lot of fun. Adults and kids can participate. It's the same thing that we've done before. We've got reading logs, so after you've read 600 minutes, then you're entered for the grand prize drawings that we always do. We're gonna do that again this year. Some really cool prizes, because I've seen kind of some of the stuff that they've been buying with the money that we got from the Friends and from the state library grant. So really cool prizes and things that they're gonna have. And then, you know, just the great programs that we always have as well. So, yeah, y'all need to come sign up.
That's terrific.
Or sign up on Beanstack. We have a little app called Beanstack that we use to help track your reading minutes and everything, and it's got fun badges and that kind of stuff in it. So most people use Beanstack now that everything has an app, but also you can sign up on a paper log and keep track on your paper log if you want to. People that don't want to use the app or don't want that on their phone or don't have great internet connection or whatever, we still have paper logs as well, so they have options to sign up.
Old people.
The author of Christie, Deanne Gist,
Is that a sign up for that, or is she gonna be, where's she going to be presenting?
I think those probably are gonna have registration only because, you know, I think we're gonna have to have them there in the meeting room in Walhalla, so it will be a little bit limited, and that kind of thing, but Michael Cogdill is coming, and then, I can't think of her name all of a sudden, but,
Deanne Gist.
yeah. So, we've also got a couple of, you know, pretty cool authors coming to do, some programs for, adult summer reading.
My girls love that Christie series. They're gonna wanna sign up for that.
So it should be, we're really looking forward to it. We've got a great program planned. I've had a lot of good, you know, help from, our adult services librarian, Brittany Castro, our youth services department, Emily Johnson and DJ Roach, Wharton, sorry, her married name. They've been doing a great job. Bethany Owens with all of our, social media and calendar and all. I mean, she's a one-lady graphics department. It's wonderful. So I just, yeah, all the credit to the staff this year. Summer reading is just gonna be absolutely a ball.
Great.
Right.
Are the Friends gonna be doing that book giveaway again
Yeah.
for all the kids? That's a great.
They will, and also we're going to have, cause I'm also on their board, First Steps is gonna be at the kickoff. They're gonna be giving away life jackets again this year, as well as books and some other stuff. Just
A lot of good things going on there. Yeah, yeah. That is the entire agenda. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
Is there a second?
All in favor?
I had to say something.